Well, been doing this all my life. My dad was a musician and a band leader, terrific MC as well for shows, and I grew up playing bluegrass and honky-tonk country. Dad had a honky-tonk band back in the 50s, and he got more into bluegrass as time went on, and so I kind of got a mixture of all of that. And of course, when you got the bluegrass and you got the honky-tonk, of course, in comes the rockabilly influence as well. And that's just been, music's been my life. I've worked all over the United States in some capacity or not with music. I worked at Opryland, worked at Dollywood Dollywood was in 95, 96, I worked there, which is a park, for your viewers, if they're not familiar with it, it's a theme park in Sevierville, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge in Sevierville, Tennessee, that Dolly Parton owns. And I sang there for 2 years. And so it's just always been music, a band here, a band there, playing blues or swing or country or honky-tonk, and writing. So, for the most part, it's getting more solid, but they have a saying in Austin that all bands are fluid, because you never know who's going to be on the stage. But Huck Johnson's been with me. We've been playing together for on and off for about 3 or 4 years, but he's been with me pretty solid since last May. We hooked up together over here when I was my first European tour, and he came to work with me. And Jim Stringer in Austin has been my regular guitar player for a good long time now. And we don't always use a drummer. We use, depending, and it comes down to depending on the size of the room, depends on the pay, if you can afford a lot of things, but we have several different drummers that we use. But on this tour, I'm blessed to have Enrico Garcia and his dad, Emilio Garcia, from the Bellhops. They're doing great. Enrico came over last November to Texas and played a month with us, and I knew right then, hands down, best drummer I've ever heard. I mean, he's killer. And I'm rough on drummers, but he's the best. And his dad's a great guitar player. We threw so much material at Emilio all at one time, and he's done absolutely great with it. So yeah,
it's natural feel to it.
Oh yeah, he's a great guitar player. He's a great guy. The whole family's good folks. They really are. They've treated us well. Major influences, of course, my dad. But then there's anybody from Hank Williams to Hank Snow to, you know, shoot, Elvis and did something on everybody. Then you turn around with Jerry Reed. I love his stuff. I like his grooves and stuff. It's a little different. Merle Haggard, as far as singing, my dad taught me to sing, but Merle Haggard made me want to sing. And he showed me something about the quality of a voice, a pureness in a voice. And after that, I really tried hard. I worked really hard on my voice to get those good, clear, pure notes, not dropping off at the end, holding the note good, and really studying because of Merle Haggard. Oh, Johnny Cash is a big influence. I got to meet Johnny Cash one time. It's kind of a silly story. I was 18 years old living in Tennessee and trying to play music, but during the day I was digging ditches and for a subdivision. And the backhoe operator invited me over to, he said, get your guitar and come on, introduce you to somebody. So I went over, and I didn't know where I was going. And ended up, we went to Johnny Cash's house, but Johnny wasn't there. It was just June and Roseanne, and they invited us back for a party. Went back for the party. No Johnny Cash. I'm like, God, I want to meet Johnny Cash. And about 2 months later, I was at a department store we call Target, and I was there to buy underwear, and so was Johnny Cash. So I bought underwear with Johnny Cash. That's my claim to fame. Very nice guy, too. Yeah. Well, the internet's helping to, there's some people who have never heard of honky-tonk or rockabilly or some of the different types of music. And there's some folks that have heard them but didn't know what it was. The last trip over, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a young man, the booking agent in Switzerland, Sue Frey. She's not a booking agent. She's my friend. She told me where to call. But Sue's son, he said, I said, what do you like? He said, I like funk and I like blues. We sat down and Colin showed me what he thought was funk and blues. And it wasn't funk and blues. And he says, it's not? I said, no, this is funk and blues. So then we started going in and listening to Jimmy Reed, stuff for the blues, and Howlin' Wolf and stuff. And then we went over into like Grand Funk Railroad and things like that and showed him, and of course James Brown. And he said, oh, that's that. So I think the internet is in places where they're not familiar with the music or what the genre actually is helping to establish that in people's minds is what it is. I think that's helping. You know, the CD sales it's what keeps the lights going. You know, it helps pay your bills. It's also what helps to get it in hands. The people may not, you know, you buy a CD from me at a show, and then you share it with your friends, and so more people get to know about me. So the CD sales are you got to have them. But the live shows I could not live without. It's what does it for me. I love the people, and I have to say that. Texas, we've got some great audiences, and they love their music, and you get done with a song, they show you love with applause, and they really enjoy it. And my reason for coming to Europe is because my friends told me, he said, you've got to see the audiences. They're wonderful. And they're right. I've not had a bad experience yet. The people here have been great to us. Depends on where you're playing in the States. There's some places in the States that they're not accustomed to. They don't have a big live music happening. So they don't really know any etiquette when it comes to listening to a live band. You get done and they like it a lot, but you just stand there and stare at you. And in Texas, when you get done, they're used to it, and they show you that love. If they like it, they applaud, they yell, they holler, they stomp their foot, whatever it is, whistle, but they show you they have approval for you. But now other places you play, they don't do much. But when you're done, at the end of the night, they come over, that was the best thing I've ever heard. I love your band, they buy all your stuff. But they're just not accustomed to going out and listening to live music. It's not a bad thing, it's just they're not accustomed to it. In Europe, you guys show so much love. I mean, it makes us feel so good when we come over to be appreciated, you know, because it's a long flight. To be honest with you, the last tour over here, we spent most of our time in Switzerland, and that went really well for me. And then we did one show in Germany, and then we came into the Netherlands, and we were hanging out with a friend, and we did a couple of little loose private things. So I didn't really know much about the Netherlands or Germany for that matter, because it was just one show. But then we went straight to Billy Bob's and Euro Disney, and we played that, and the place was packed. It was great, you know, had a lot of fun. But then we got on the plane and left the next morning. So I haven't had that much experience with the other parts of Europe. Looking forward to it. Hope the opportunities arise. But as of now, you know, Switzerland, yeah, I think I have to come back every time. They're just so kind, so generous over there. And this is the first show I've ever done in Belgium. It was tonight at Cowboy Up, last night at Cowboy Up. And then the rest of the shows on this tour will be in the Netherlands. And I've heard nothing but good things about the audiences in the Netherlands, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, he lives just down the street from me. He lives down in Spicewood, Texas, about 20 minutes, I guess, 20, 30 minutes from where I live. And that's a big compliment right there. I appreciate it. He hell of a singer, songwriter, and I dare you to find anybody that'll say anything bad about Willie. He's a very kind man. He's a very generous man, and I haven't met him yet. I've been as close to him as you and I are, but it was under some circumstances that nobody was really able in a position to speak. And we lost a good friend. It was at a funeral. I met him, Pootie Locke, who was Willie's road manager for 30 some odd years, and that's the first time I was face to face with Willie, and it was not the time to talk, but everybody was having a rough day that day. But Willie's a good dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I love old cars, but I mainly, I ride a motorcycle. I ride a Harley everywhere. And so I like motorcycles a lot. I like old vintage bikes. I like to look at those. And there's a crossover there in the States that a lot of my biker friends like work at body shops and stuff like that, and for the old cars. And yeah, it's hard to be in the honky-tonk rockabilly world without being also in the car world, motorcycle world, that kind of thing. And we play a few of those shows around Austin, and they're fun. They're good people. You know. They're living their passion too. No, that was the most horrible show on TV. There's nothing like that. There's so many of my biker friends that would get together to go see that show on a Tuesday, I think it was, whenever they did it. And it's like, really? It's not, no. That's very much made up in drama and Hollywood, you know. Most of the bikers I know are good family people, professionals. They just like to have a good time and drink beer, you know, just have the friendship between us, you know. If anybody would like to get a hold of us, if you go to www.beauporter.com, that's BOPORTER.com, beauporter.com. And if you're interested in booking us, it gives you booking information, gives you the EPK on the contact page. As I like to say, we don't hide from nobody. If you want to get a hold of us, we're easy to find. Well, I look forward to continuing to come back to Europe. It's always fun. It's always, people are always so kind. Thank you very much, Europe, for bringing us in and accepting us and coming to the shows and buying the CDs and the t-shirts, and thanks for the love, man. We really do appreciate it. If anybody gets to Texas, look us up and say hi. God bless Texas.